Hey everybody, I want to take a little bit of time here in this video to explain what you need to do for writing assignment 1 evaluation paragraph. So below this video you're going to see just a real brief explanation of this assignment. And it really just tells you that you need to look at the assignment packet that is attached to these instructions. And it tells you what is on each page. So I'm going to go through that packet real quick with you so that you understand what all the information is telling you, what is there to help you, and what you actually have to submit for this assignment. Okay? So once you download or open up the file that's attached, the file is WritingAssignment1 evaluation paragraph. When you open that up, you're going to see on page 1 just an explanation of the assignment. So for this assignment, you're going to be writing an evaluation paragraph. This is the type of paragraph that is covered in the week 5 module, exemplification and evaluation, that lesson. You need to go through that PowerPoint and watch the video. Otherwise, you are either going to be confused about what kind of paragraph you're supposed to write, or you're just not going to include all the things you're supposed to. That PowerPoint goes through this type of paragraph very thoroughly. There are even sample evaluation paragraphs included in the PowerPoint to give you a better idea of what you're supposed to be doing. And then of course the video, explains everything that's in the PowerPoint. But you need to go through that lesson. Otherwise, you're not going to do this assignment correctly. It's not a difficult one. It just requires very specific elements. They're not hard elements. But if they're missing, then you're not going to get a good grade. If it's completely not on point, like if it's totally off the mark, you're going to be asked to redo it completely. So do yourself a favor and make sure you go through that lesson in week 5 if you haven't already. So if you have gone through the lesson, then you already know what I mean when I say write an evaluation paragraph. So you're going to choose a topic and you are going to evaluate it based on what we've learned in that lesson in a well-developed paragraph. One single paragraph, not an essay. One single paragraph. You have the freedom to choose your own topic for this paragraph, but remember to adhere to the required elements of a formal college level paragraph in general and the requirements of an evaluation paragraph specifically, all those elements that are required. So in order to get started, go through that lesson, maybe even read over chapter 8, all right? Pay close attention to those sample paragraphs in the PowerPoint. Think back to some of our discussion prompts and weekly journal prompts, because some of those are potential topics for this paragraph. And I may have even indicated to you in my feedback on those items that you had a good topic for this particular writing assignment. So go back and look at my feedback as well. That might help you decide which topic you want to use for this. There's also some potential topics that I've listed on page 2 that we'll look at in case you don't want to use the ones that you wrote about in the discussions and journals, and that's fine. But what you need to do is write an evaluation paragraph. So the PowerPoint and video lesson in the week 5 module will help you understand what is required of an evaluation paragraph. But don't forget all the things we've learned about paragraphs in general. And that's where the helpful tips come in here on page 1. Don't forget that you need an effective topic sentence that clearly indicates the topic you're going to evaluate, your judgment for it, whether you're giving it a good evaluation or a bad evaluation, and the criteria you're using to evaluate it. You need 3 to 4 main points. These are called your criteria in this type of paragraph. You need to fully explore each one of those main ideas and support it with your expert-like explanations. Use examples from your personal experience to help support your evaluation of your topic. Don't forget what we've learned about support in a paragraph. Make sure it is specific and adequate. Make sure it's specific and make sure there's enough of it. Make sure that your supporting sentences create coherence through the use of transitions and other connecting words. Make sure you have a concluding sentence at the end of your paragraph that signals the end of the paragraph and reminds us of the whole purpose of the paragraph. Make sure you have appropriate voice and tone for a college level assignment. Make sure you have correct grammar and mechanics, okay? So you have to know what is required specifically from an evaluation paragraph, but don't forget all the things we've learned about paragraphs in general. Got to have all of it, okay? This will be done in a Word document, Google Doc, PDF. This is a formal assignment. If you were writing a formal research paper, you would know that you would have to submit it in some sort of formal document. You're only writing a paragraph for this, but it is still formal. So please plan accordingly and make sure that you can get it typed up and submitted in Word doc, Google Doc, PDF. If there's other options that you're familiar with, as long as I'm able to open the file, it should probably be fine. Okay? It needs to have an appropriate font, one of the 3 that's listed there under the submission requirements. It needs to be double spaced. Points will be deducted from your score if you do not adhere to the submission requirements. If it's not in a formal document, if it doesn't have one of those fonts, if it's not double spaced, points will be taken off. Okay? So, you're going to write an evaluation paragraph. If you went through the lesson, maybe you already have a topic in mind. But if not, on page 2 of the packet, I give you some possible topics. You are not required to use any of them on this list. These are just there if you really just can't think of anything. Or maybe these might lead you to other ideas. So the first is to do a movie review or a TV show review. Be very careful with this one because you don't want to simply tell us what it's about. There is a sample movie review in the Chapter 8 PowerPoint here in week 5. Pay close attention to that if you are considering doing a movie review or a TV show review. You can do a restaurant review. You did this in the week 1 journal. You can do a video game review. There is an example of one of these in the Chapter 8 PowerPoint as well. You can do a cell phone review, a computer, laptop, tablet review, one of those 3. You can do a vacation spot review. You did that in the week 2 journal. You can do a music or concert review, a school or college review. I've had students do reviews on a specific brand of shoes or boots. I've had students do reviews on a specific type of car or a specific type of truck. The idea, though, is to pick something that you are going to say to the reader, this thing is good, and you should buy it. You should go there. You should do it too. Or this thing is really bad. I'm giving you fair warning. Like, these are the reasons why you should never go there, or never buy this, or never eat there. It doesn't have to be a good review. It can be a bad one. But you're picking a topic that you are already familiar with, that you already know about, and you are giving it a review. You can't review a place you've never been to. You can't review a product you've never owned. It has to be based on your personal experience. Okay? Again, those are just 10 possible topics. A few of them you've already written on, but you are not required to use anything from that list. Okay? Those are just some ideas. The third page of the packet is what we call a graphic organizer. It is simply a tool you can use if you want to help organize your ideas. The graphic organizer is not required, and it does not get submitted. It does not get a grade. It is simply there as a tool for you if you choose to use it. That's what the packet consists of. So, page 1 explains the assignment and gives you some helpful tips and lists the submission requirements. Page 2 offers some potential topics. Page 3 gives you the graphic organizer that you can use if you want. What you will submit, what will get graded, is the paragraph itself. That's it. I will be looking, how I'll be grading it is first to make sure that it truly is an evaluation paragraph, that you have stuck to the requirements and expectations of this specific type of paragraph. The other chunk of your grade will come from basic paragraph elements. Topic sentence, coherence, staying on focus, concluding sentence, grammar and mechanics, right? So make sure that you are understanding what this type of paragraph requires, an evaluation paragraph. And don't forget all of the paragraph elements we've learned about back in week 1 and 2 and 3. But just remember, it is just one paragraph. Okay? And you will be given a chance to revise it if you are not happy with your original score. The revision is not required, but it is an option if you would like to improve your score once I have graded your paragraph. Please go through the material in week 5 if you haven't yet. Go back and look at your journals and my feedback on your journals and discussions to see if maybe one of those topics is something you want to use for this. If not, hopefully you can come up with a solid topic for this, or my list on page 2 here might, prove helpful. But choose a topic that you are already familiar with. There is absolutely no research for this. It is all based on your personal experience. So make sure you adhere to those requirements for evaluation writing. Make sure you adhere to the expectations of a well-developed paragraph. Make sure you adhere to the submission requirements listed on page 1. And what you will submit is one single paragraph that will be formally graded. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you run into any difficulties with anything, please let me know that as well. Otherwise, just do your best and I look forward to reading your evaluation, Erica.